Hey everyone, it's Miranda Hughes here from Walking Your Worth. I'm so glad you could tune into this video. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure that you hit the bell notification so that you don't miss a video that I'm going to release. This stuff is really good information, and I would hate for you to not have it because you never know when you're going to need it. So anyways, today's topic is how to know when to leave a relationship. And I believe that I wrote down 10 of these points, I guess. There's obviously more, but for right now, I'm just going to do the top 10 that I could think of for today. If there's any that you want me to go over that you think would be a good idea, go ahead and drop it in the comment section down below. So thanks for, sharing your thoughts, your perspective, and your story. I'd love to hear what you guys have gone through, not so much the bad stuff, but the only way you're going to get to the good is to go through the bad. And this is what I'm saying. This is why I created this page or this channel, so that those of you who have been struggling with really severe, harsh relationships or just difficult seasons of your life where you've been single and you try to get to know someone and something's always happening, this is exactly what this is for. So not only are you learning from me, that you can also learn from others. As long as it's actually really good information and advice and it's not leading someone astray or leading them into further despair, because we don't really want that here. So that's what my whole channel is about. It's not just, overcoming rape and things like that. It's also handling the day-to-day life as a woman, following Christ, and just getting to know who you are individually as yourself and as a woman, also as a Christian. And then also just in the whole relationship thing, especially for women who are single or women who maybe are not in the best relationship that they should be in, and they're trying to find a way out or they're trying to make it better. This is what this channel is for. So again, my name is Miranda Hughes, and I am the voice behind Walking Your Worth. So thank you for tuning in today. So let's jump on into it. So point number one is for how to know when to leave a relationship is God didn't tell you to date this person. So the only way you're going to know about that is, one, if you actually pray. If you don't, I don't just mean, hey God, it's me, thanks for waking me up, or thank you for my food, or thank you for whatever, but I mean like solidly, are you praying daily? Are you having a relationship with Christ? Because sometimes, especially when you're praying and you know that God's leading you into a season of dating, and you start dating people and you think, okay, I think I found the person that I want to date. That's the thing, is like, you don't get me wrong, God's going to give you the desires of your heart. However, the desires that are in your heart should match up with the desires that God has given you, if that makes sense. And if you think, well, if he's already given them to me, then wouldn't I be correct or right off the bat? No. Like, you got to be able to hear God. You got to identify God's voice. You got to be able to know that, whether it's, just your intentions of trying to date someone versus God specifically telling you yes or no to someone. Because sometimes if God tells you no, do not date someone, and you know that he told you no, and you go and do it anyways, God's going to allow you to have that relationship because he wants you to know that it's not the right one for you. That's not the person. But if you're not going to listen to him, I hate to say it, but like the only option that he has left, because of free will, because he gives it to you, if you choose to deny Christ in that and you don't want to do whatever it is that God's told you to do or who to be with because you don't think that's right, and you want to go over here and date whoever because of whatever your reason is, God's going to let you find out the hard way, the messy way, the heartbreaking way, that this is not the person for you. God can still use your heartbreak. Every pain has a purpose, but just know there's a reason that God tells you no to dating someone. It may not even be because they're a bad person. It could just be because that's just not who he has for you. And also, it could also be that even if that was the right person for you, it may not be the right time. So, and that's for another video, another day, but that's the whole point of point one, is if God did not specifically tell you to date this person, then guess what's going to be involved with that choice or that decision? Heartache, heartbreak, failure, a big mistake. You could, lose money in the process, lose your self-worth in the process. Like, it's just because God's not in it, it's not going to be the best relationship for you, and you will find out quickly if God's in it or not. Second, I'm going to move on to the second point. You realize you're only using this person for personal gain. And yes, ladies, you are very capable of doing this. It is not just men who use women, okay? Ouch. Sorry, but it's true. And actually, I'm not sorry. It's just, this is maybe your first time hearing this. We got to do better, okay? If you think, well, how am I using a man? Well, let me tell you. First of all, status. If there's a man who's very well known in the company that you work for, and you think that if you date this person that it's going to elevate you higher, it might to an extent, or it actually may completely elevate you. But that's the thing, is, are you dating this person? Think about how when we talk to men, we want a man to date us, to choose us, and to love us for what? Us. So how do you think that man feels if he were to find out you were only dating him because you wanted to go up higher in the ranks for the military, or for, the job that you work at? Or, well, the military might be a little different, but I'm just saying, the point is that no matter where you're at in life or what you're doing as far as a career, if you were only dating a man because of his status and you want to elevate, like you want to be famous, you want to be rich, you want to be center of attention, you want to be all this stuff, yes, dating this person or being married to this person will help you get there. But that's the thing, is like, if that's not the person for you and you know it, and you really don't love this person, you have no interest in really this person in general, you're just using this person to get what you want, which is, fame and money and fortune and all this stuff, or even just a higher position at the place that you work, you're no different than the men that you despise, the ones that use you for whatever they want. It's just now, and I'll be honest, other women, I know women who do this, who use men just to have dates so they can have free food. Yeah. They don't got any money that weekend, that's okay. They'll agree to go on a date just so they can go out and have fun. And that's it. They don't talk to him, they don't text him, they don't care about him. It's a one and done. I got what I wanted. All right, moving on to the next guy. And they're going to call it dating so that they don't look bad or evil. It's like, no, you still got some evil intentions in that heart of yours. Okay, you can be pretty on the outside, but you got to work on the inside too. And let me tell you, guys will sniff that out real quick. It may not be on date one, but give it about a month and they realize that you're not interested in them as much, but you're always down for a date. Come on now, it doesn't take too long for them to figure that out. And also, the other thing that women use men for is, like I said, I already mentioned status, food, money, fame, and a position at work. The other things that, women are capable of using men for is being a babysitter. Yeah. Or sex. If they really want sex and they really want to have someone, that's the other one, is just having somebody just because they don't want to be alone, or they don't want to be, I don't know, they're just bored and they just want to have someone. That stuff right there is not cute, okay? Guys are going to be able to sniff that out just as much. The sex, I'm going to tell you right now, if it's one of those mutual things where it's like, you know that you don't like this person and he knows that he doesn't really like you, like that, like you guys aren't in love with each other, you guys don't really care to date, but you guys are hooking up, or you're, just getting together, okay, there's still going to be emotional attachment. There's still needs that you guys have, and you're trying to meet them with someone that's not who you're meant to be married with. Like, you're going to have nightmares. You're going to have emotional attachment. You're going to have issues because why? You are kind of cheating in life. Like, you think that, okay, if I can go out and get sex with a man who isn't my husband, who I'm not dating, who isn't da-da-da-da-da, and you're trying to skip the process. Like, you're trying to get the reward without the process. And that's why you're not really going to get much of a reward. You're just going to get night terrors and nightmares and PTSD. You're going to get, you're going to feel even more lonely and even more shameful of yourself than what you have before you even did that stuff. And the only way that that's going to go away is if you actually stop doing that. Well, I'm not even playing with you. I'm telling you the truth. Like, I've been there, I've done it, and I'm going to tell you right now, like, I never felt more free in my life from any of that until I repented, meaning I turned away from that lifestyle, and I got with God, and he basically made it clear, like, don't be dating just to date. Don't be, and I didn't really hook up with a whole lot of people or anything like that, but I have used a guy one time just to go on a date and get food. And there was at least 3 different guys where I actually had, basically just had a one night stand with and didn't even try to have a relationship with them. It was just because I didn't want to be alone. And it's like that right there. That's what I'm saying is, and I'm not telling you this to be a hypocrite. I'm not telling you this because I'm telling you what to do. I'm telling you this because it works. And if you don't think so, well, it's a process. Everything in life takes time. Everything takes effort. Everything takes action, choice, effort. Like you're gonna have to do the work. And that's the thing is like, you're trying to have the benefits of a relationship with someone that you don't even want a relationship with. It's not going to work, okay? It's just not. And the sooner you realize that, the better. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just telling you guys, like, this is just how it is. God didn't design relationships to be flings. He didn't design a fling. He designed a covenant relationship, a marriage between a man and a woman. He didn't design whatever it is that we come up with. Number 3 is, and this is what leads me to that, is you're bored and you just want someone around. So again, if you are just using a man, it could be the simple fact that you don't really have anybody in your life right now that you're dating, and I don't know, maybe you have weddings to go to, or you have events or holidays that are coming up and stuff, and you really just don't want to be alone. And so you basically agree to date someone who is really interested in you, but you're not interested at all. But because you don't really want to have nothing going on in your life and you want to be somewhere, meaning you're going to parties or going to events or you're going wherever it is that you're going, you just want to go somewhere with someone. And that's the thing is, if you guys aren't on the same path, if you both don't believe in God, if you both don't really care for similar morals and values in life, that's starter number 1. That's really going to be a game changer for one on that. And second, if you guys really, again, think about it. Like if you think that, it's fair or it's cute or it's attractive to be with someone just because you're bored, that's just screaming insecurity. That's really all that is. It doesn't really show that you're good girlfriend material or that you're wife material. It just shows that you don't know how to be alone and be okay with it. It shows that you have attachment issues. That's what men see when they see you constantly dating someone all the time. It means you don't know how to live life with just you and God and yourself. It means that you don't know how to stand on your own 2 feet. And I'm not, again, saying this to be harsh. It's just I'm trying to tell you that this is how to know when to leave a relationship. Because if you are constantly getting in a relationship after relationship after relationship, that means you don't know how to heal and deal. And that's going to be scary to a man who really wants to settle down, okay? Like, he really wants to make a life with you. And if you're over here, like, think about it. If he knows that you're only going to date someone just because you're bored, it's only a matter of time before you ditch that person because you're bored with that person. And then you go do the other thing with another person. It's like, it's not going to be worth it in his eyes. And also, like I said, you'll figure that out on your own. But I'm just going to tell you right now, if you haven't, that's probably one reason why you're single. And also, if you're not single and you're in a relationship, this is why your relationships don't last very long, because either the man finds that out and he walks out on you, or like I said, you're too busy, guy hopping the way you bar hop, that it's like you don't really have time to emotionally process this is actually what's taking place. And that leads me to number 4 is you're lonely and just want any person to be with you. So again, number 3 is you're bored and want someone. Number 4 is you're lonely and want someone. And those might seem the same, but they're actually different, because when you're bored, you're more like, you have the confidence to an extent. It's not the healthiest confidence, but at least you're not really focused on making goals with the person that you're with, because it's not going to last very long. It's just, you're kind of like hopping around, just going about your life, guy after guy after guy. When you are lonely and you just want any person to be with you, that's even scarier, because that actually means that's how you know when you need to get out of that relationship. And for people who feel afraid to be alone, you might think this is backwards. Like, no, I need somebody in order to not feel alone. It's like, no, You need the right person to be with you so you don't feel alone. If you are with anybody, then that means, think about it. You don't have any self-respect for yourself. You don't care about, especially if you have children, and I'm not taking offense to anyone. I'm just telling you, I've seen this. I have had friends that are like this, and I've told them the same thing. You got to realize, in a guy's perspective, that when they look at you, if it's a healthy man, an attractive man, a man who has really good values and really wants to start a family, who does believe in God, if he were to actually look at you in your life situation, he's not judging you, but if he really wants a wife, he's gonna, in his eyes, he's gonna look at you and say, oh my gosh, if she can't go a short amount of time or even a year's worth of time without dating someone, that, again, it screams insecurity. It screams clinginess. It screams that even though you're not speaking it and admitting it with your mouth, you're admitting it with your everyday life. You're admitting it with every relationship you get into when you don't take the time to heal and deal and process everything that's happened to you, everything that you've gone through. Because men who are, godly or very, like, and I mean very godly, I don't mean religious, because that's not godly, okay? Religious is not godly. I'll get that out of your head right now. So a godly man is just someone who really full-heartedly devotes his life to God. It doesn't mean he goes to church all the time. It doesn't mean that he's, doing whatever it is you think he's doing. It just means that he's dedicating his life to God. He's trying to live his life to the best that he can as an example of Christlike love, meaning the way that he treats people, the way he shows up for his job, the way he does business. Like, it's just, you're going to see Jesus in this man, okay? So if you want a man like that, who's going to love you the right way, think about it. He's going to want the right things too. He's not going to want to be with a woman who's going to be so clingy all the time, to the point where, especially if he's running a business, or if he has kids of his own, or if he's got, put it this way, if he's trying to heal and deal as well, then that's where he's not ready for you. And that's what I'm saying, is like, the only way you're going to know when you're in a healthy relationship is when you are with someone who is willing to heal and deal just like you are. If they're not, and they're just, oh, so you got emotional issues, I'm just gonna, like, break up with you because I don't want to deal with you and I got to go to the next person because that's too much for me, then, sweetheart, you're not ready for marriage. You're not ready for a healthy, committed relationship. That's part of a relationship. That's part of commitment, is being with someone even as they heal, as they do stuff. However, if you have never taken the time of day in your entire life to actually take a break from dating, whether it be 3 months or 3 years, somewhere in there, to take a good chunk of time to just really devote yourself to God and to getting to know yourself, dating yourself, and being okay by yourself, a healthy man, a godly man, is going to see that as a strong, independent woman. He's going to have respect for that. He's going to love you for that. But if you can't stand to be by yourself just for a few minutes to a few days or anything like that, because, you haven't sorted out the PTSD or the trauma that you've gone through in your past, or the abandonment issues from your parents or from the other relationships you've been in, if you haven't processed that, if you haven't gone to therapy, if you haven't done any counseling or just any kind of heart work on yourself, that man is, you're going to make that relationship so much harder, and that man knows it, and that's why he's probably going to pass you up. And the men that you're going to be stuck with are the men that don't want to heal and deal, the men that really don't care if you care whether to work on yourself or not. They can care less. They're not going to be very godly. They're not going to care about what direction in life they're going. They're going to be right there with you, and it's not going to be a healthy relationship. I mean, yes, you'll have somebody, but that may not be the right person for you. That may not be the person that God has designed you to be with, because, God has a person for everybody. So I'm not going to go too much on that, because, like I said, I could go on and on that. But the whole point is, if you're bored or if you're lonely and you know that you basically don't feel any kind of emotion towards the man that you're dating, like you really don't feel like you love this man, or you don't feel And I'm not talking within week 1 or month 1. I'm talking about if you've been with this person for 3 months or more, at least 6 months, we'll just say 6 months. If you've been with this person for 6 months and you really don't see any kind of future with this guy, if you really don't feel like this could be the one for you, if you don't feel like God is, wanting you to continue with this, then you need to pay attention to it and back out of it. Like, if you know that, you just want to have someone around just because you're bored and you want to have something to do, you got to take time to heal and deal with yourself on that. And then the other thing is, like I said, if you're lonely, again, dating people just to date someone because you don't want to be alone, you're never going to grow if you're always attached to someone, okay? You got to be able to stand on your own 2 feet at some point. You got to be able to be okay and content with just you and God, or just you and your child, or, whatever your situation is. If you're always relying on a man, the thing is you may not be with the right kind of men, is what I'm saying. These are the men that are normally abusive and, cause traumas and just not really good life, okay? Like, that's why you shouldn't just pick anybody. And also just because it really, at the end of the day, just really screams that you don't have self-respect or love for yourself. It just means that you are, and if you think, well, I'm not being judgmental, it's like, no, you can still date someone, love yourself, and still pick someone who's going to love you for you, respect your morals and yourself, and actually have similar values as you, and not cause you to feel alone. Like, that's the thing, is like, maybe you have abandonment issues that you need to resolve. Like, you can't push it down and just neglect that any more than what you already have. Like, you're going to have to process that and heal from that at some point. So number 5, and this is why I say that, you really got to heal and deal, because if you don't, this is what's coming next. So number 5 on how to know when to leave a relationship is the person you are dating shows signs of abuse, aggression, or is controlling. So think about it. If you're just dating anyone, if you have no goals, no ambitions, if you have no desire to have a purpose in life, or to really find out what your specific purpose is, and you just go riding along with whatever guy comes along, that guy may take you on a ride you'll never, ever, ever want to be on. He may take you for a spin where you might almost lose your life. Okay? He may make you feel paranoid or crazy. He may cause you to want to wish to die. Okay? Because especially if you're ignoring the signs and the red flags of abuse and aggression and controlling behavior, it's going to start out not so bad in the beginning, but think about it. There's going to be different levels, and it's going to get more. It's going to increase. It's going to intensify. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get better the longer you stay. And like I said, I will be doing a different video on releasing the red flags that I've experienced, and also some common ones, I guess. But if you don't get out of that relationship when you start seeing the signs early on, then it's just going to get worse and worse. And it's sad to say, but there's some women who realize that they're in a bad relationship or an abusive relationship until after, they don't realize it until after they get hit, or until after they're too afraid of this guy, or until after this guy, tries to kill them. And it's like, no, I've only been in one that's been like that. And I'm telling you, it is not fun. It's not pretty. It is horrifying. It'll mess you up. And the only way, again, that you're going to get away from it is to stay away from it. Get out of it. Go far from it as quickly as you possibly can. And number 6 is you don't feel comfortable with the person you are dating, or even not fully trusting them. And basically with that is something doesn't quite feel right, or it feels off, and you aren't sure exactly what it is, but your gut makes you feel sick every time that you're around this person that you're dating. So that means, I'll just be honest, if you're watching this and you live in the city, or if you live somewhere where there's just a high population, there is a possibility that the person that you're dating, if it feels like maybe they're doing drugs, or maybe they could be involved in human trafficking, or involved with a gang, or involved with witchcraft, or any kind of thing where it's like that you don't know about, but they could be doing some evil stuff like that, you don't know if you're about to be a victim of something. You really don't. But it's like, that's where or maybe it's just this person is very abusive and hasn't shown the signs yet. If you're dating this person, let's say 2 to 3 weeks in, and you guys are, the first time that you hung out, or even the second time, you just thought you had butterflies because maybe, you just thought maybe this person's making you nervous and I've experienced this plenty of times. It's not a good feeling, and it did cost me a few times for not listening, but there's also been times where it didn't cost me, it actually saved me for listening to my gut or my instinct. And this is what I'm saying is, like, in the very beginning, when you meet someone and they're giving you the butterflies, it's very common to think that you're just feeling that way simply because you think you might be nervous. But after the first time, it should be a little less nervous. But if you're feeling like it's not even just your gut, it's like all head to toe, just tingly, feeling like it's almost like a fight or flight sensation, where you feel like you don't know, you just feel like you're on edge, you feel anxious, and you're thinking, your hands are sweating, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, why am I acting like this? Why do I feel afraid of this person? And you're thinking, oh, I'm just afraid because I don't know this person very well, or, I'm still just nervous being around this person. No, like, that is your body is giving you signs, huge red warnings and red flags, that this person is dangerous. This person is someone you don't need to be associating with. And if you continue and you ignore those signs, like I said earlier, it's just going to get worse and worse. And eventually something is going to happen, and it's going to catch you off guard, even though your body's telling you something's bad because you don't know what it is. This is where, like, curiosity killed the cat. Yeah, this is where it can go for you too. If you're trying to figure out, well, this guy's really attractive and I really like him, or he has a lot of money, or he seems really nice, but it's like, yet I keep feeling this way around him, listen to it. Listen, you can't believe everything a man says, and you can't fall for whatever a man does for you. Like, you are going to have to test him at some point for another video, but you are going to have to test him. You are going to have to pray to God about this person, because God could be intensifying that gut feeling for a reason. He could be trying to help you escape someone that is abusive. He could be helping you identify that this is not someone that, I should be talking to. And whether you continue to do so or not is up to you, but I'm just going to tell you, if you've been feeling that way around someone, listen to your gut, listen to God, listen to that instinct, because it's more than likely pretty much not going to be wrong. Like, whatever it is that you're feeling towards this person whenever they're around, or even the thought of them, just kind of makes you almost like have like a dry mouth and stuff, because you're just so anxious, tight, and on edge, and you're just like tightening in your stomach, and you feel like butterflies, but it also just kind of hurts like that, and it's just like all over your body. Listen, that is your body screaming at you, run. That's the fight or flight response. Run away. Block his number, get rid of him, don't talk to him. If you really don't feel safe, let other people know who you were talking to, and let them know if you see this guy stalking or being around the apartment or the house or in the neighborhood, don't give him any of my information. If you need to, drastic measures, contact the police and say, hey, I was talking to this person and if you think, oh, what's police gonna do? It's like, you know what? I believe it or not, there are some police out there that actually do have a heart and actually do care about you and their job, okay? I'm sorry if you've had a bad experience with police, but like I said, you can't say all police are bad. Just like not all police are good, not all police are bad, okay? There's going to be some police officers that will take your story seriously, that will listen to you, and will even check something out for you if need be, okay? So I don't know who that's for, but I had to throw that out there. Bottom line, you just stay away from people when you feel that kind of sensation come over you, because more than likely your gut's not wrong. Your intuition is right. That's why God gave it to you, especially us women. He gave it to us so that it's kind of like I don't know how to say it. It's just an extra way of being able to be cautious and to make better decisions when it comes to dating men, because men are can be very big on lying. Men can put on a front, and God knew that a man's heart is capable of that. So in order to protect us women, that was something that God instilled in us, was so that we had a secret weapon to fight back before anything happens. The problem is a lot of us just don't listen to it. Number 7 is the person you are in a relationship with betrays you. So this is like cheating and for human trafficking, if they were to sell you, or if you're in another country and again, sold you as a sex slave, or sold you off to somebody for ransom or something like that. Like, who knows? Like, I don't know who's going to be watching this, but God told me to write it down. So, okay. So if they were to sell you for drugs, sell you for pornography and sex and all that, if they were to just give away all your secrets, if they were to cheat on you, if they were to lie to you constantly, like, this is forms of betrayal. So this is where that trust is broken, it's gone. I mean, there's really not much that you can do to really fix it. I mean, you can apologize, they can apologize to you, they can try to make it up to you, but it's like, again, it's just not going to be the same. And this is where, like I said, you're going to have to pray to God about it. But more than likely, if this person has cheated on you or done something like completely against you, to where they've lied to you constantly about everything of their life, or they and you felt like you were living a lie, or they, basically sell you for something or to someone just because they got selfish and greedy, and they're heartless, they don't care, like, you can't go back to that person, okay? You can't. Like, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna be better. God would more than likely much rather you be with someone that he has for you than you try to waste time trying to get someone to see their wrong and try to make them apologize and try to make them just not ever do it again. Because that's the thing, is like, it's not because they did it once they'll do it again. It's if they're not willing to change for the better for themselves, and if they're not living a life that's honoring God, and they really don't honor you, then yeah, they will do it again. And they will, they can care less about what they did. They may put on a front to act like they're sorry to get you back. But again, they'll just be more quieter or sneakier about what they're doing. Because if they haven't had a change in heart, then it's not going to change their behavior. And if their behavior doesn't change, their lifestyle is never going to change. So that's what I'm saying. You're better off, unless God specifically told you to stay with this person. That's between you and him. But more than likely, God's going to want you to walk away from that person, because your portion, or the blessing that God has for you, is not for you to be hurt by someone else over and over and over. That's not what God has for you, okay? He wants you to be with a person that's going to cherish you, love you, respect you, honor you. That's who he wants you to be with. And a man who is cheating on you is not that. Number 8 is the person you're dating isn't fully committing to you, and it's an off and on kind of relationship. Maybe you guys get in fights a lot. I don't know, like, for me, I was with someone that, again, was pretty much abusive. So, like, whenever I started to figure out that I needed to walk away, I would, and then I would walk back to him, I guess, and it would get worse with the behaviors that he displayed, and the outrages and the threats and things like that. So I'd walk away again, and then I'd come right back. So that's the point, is if you're going to be gone, stay gone. If they're not fully committing to you, like, think about it. If it's someone who's not in the right place with God, and they're really not caring about you, but again, going back to number 3 or 4, they're only that man is only with you because they're bored or they're lonely, and they're just trying to get with you. Think about it. You can blow up all you want and they'll be upset, but it's like, they're just mad because you're mad at them. And then if that man decides to go out and sleep with other women while he's waiting for you to calm down, That's not being committed. That's not being loyal. That's not him giving his best effort towards you. That's not commitment. And if it's you that's, going, and even if that man's not doing that, if he's just calling it on and off whenever he wants to, that's just a form of control. And that's just him using love as a manipulation tactic. That's it. That is it. That's just trying to get trying to get you to do what he wants. So if you don't do what I say, then I'm going to withhold my love from you. No, that's manipulation and control. You can get far, far away from that. If it is you that is the person that is calling it on and off, there's a reason for that, which is number 6, like I said, which is you don't feel comfortable with this guy. There's a reason that you keep wanting to break up with this person. There's a reason that things aren't adding up or it doesn't feel right. It's because, again, God didn't call you to be with this person. Your body recognizes, like, it's sending you signals that, you're getting the red flags of the gut that's telling you this is not right. I need to get out of this. And this is where you just need to do the only thing you can do, which is either listen or don't. And if you don't listen, you're just going to continue with heartbreak. You're going to be continuing with the confusion. You're going to continue wondering what is up with this person. Why are they treating me this way? Compared to realizing that, ouch, that hurt. This person's not meant for me, or this person's crazy, or this person is whatever, fill in the blank. And you walk away, and then that's that. Like, you have to get over feeling like you fell for someone that was lying, or fell for someone that wasn't being, who they said they are, or just wasn't who you thought they'd be. So being with someone when the relationship is off and on, it's not because you're sorting it out. It's not because you need a break. It's because someone in the relationship is not being fully committed. And that's really it on that. And no one has time to waste on that. I know I don't. I'm pretty sure you don't. Number 9 is the person you are dating makes you feel like everything is your fault, makes fun of you, disrespects you, treats other people better than you. This is where the beginning stages of abuse. And this is where it starts. This is where they may not physically abuse you, but they may be neglectful with your emotions and your needs. It's just more like a selfish relationship. This is where someone wants to be in a relationship with you, but they don't want to treat you like, the person that you deserve to be treated. Like, they don't want to treat you like a girlfriend. They don't want to treat you with honor and respect and love and dignity. They don't want to treat you with loyalty or anything like that. They just want you to do everything they want to do. And it's all about them. And they basically, as some people call it, like a trophy wife, pretty much. They just want someone who looks good, who's willing to do whatever they want for them, who isn't going to complain. And if they do, all they have to do is just, I don't know, they're feeding off of your desperation, put it that way. Like, if you desperately want to be in a relationship, they're going to promise you a relationship, but they're not going to treat it like that. But they're going to tell you in that moment, whenever they're with you, that this is what it is, because they don't want you to go anywhere, because they need you to basically be that pretty thing on their arm. And like I said, that also falls in with number 8, which is it could be an off and on relationship. So while they're with you, they're making you feel like, you're the best thing in the world. But then when they go silent or they're not around you, this is where typically they are talking to someone else, and whatever they're doing with you, they're doing with the other person, which could also lead to cheating. So do you see the trail? Anyways, number 10, and like I said, that is exactly why you don't need to be dating this person, because basically when you start finding out the truth, when you start putting the pieces together and connecting the dots, and you realize that, oh crap, like, this person is actually not as good of a boyfriend material as I thought. Like, this person is not being committed. It's all about them. They don't really care about what I want to talk about or what I want to do. It's always like, basically whatever this person says goes kind of thing, his way or the highway. You notice that other relationships aren't really like, if you were to talk about your relationship to someone else who's in a relationship and they were to be like, I don't know what you're talking about because that's not what I experience or that's not what I go through. Like, you know, that person, it sounds like, and if you keep hearing people constantly tell you that you sound like the side chick or you sound like the other woman or just a fling or just, you know, someone that this guy is temporarily interested in, take note of it because they're probably not wrong. It's just you're blinded because you want a relationship so bad that you're being oblivious to what the real reality is this person, this man doesn't see you as his other half. He just sees you as a part of the pieces that he can use to get what he wants in his own game. Okay? Whatever game he's got going up in here, he sees you as a puzzle piece, as a game piece. He doesn't see you as the whole piece, if that makes sense. And then number 10, and this is why I saved this one for last, because this was basically what happened to me when I was with someone for 9 years, is the person you are in a relationship with is playing house with you. And it's the same thing, different day, pretty much, you know, the routine of the schedule to a T. I knew exactly when this person wanted something, whether it be lunch or, you know, sex or, I don't know, just like to play his games, whatever it was. Like, I already knew to the T, on the dot, when he wanted something, how the day was going to go. And it just was pure misery, pure hell. Excuse my language, but it was just like, it was just not what I wanted. It was just not what I imagined. We were high school sweethearts and we grew up pretty much somewhat together. And to get our apartment together, then get a second one and have roommates in there, it was just chaotic. And again, not what I anticipated or expected. And then I just realized one day that, you know what? I'm making this guy's lunch. I'm fixing food. There were days where, and also I was like the one doing all the errands. I was also the one writing all the checks. Like, he would have the money. I would just write them out. I would be the one making all the phone calls, just things like that. And it really, we weren't even married. And, you know, we were basically together. That was going on our 9th year. And something just kind of came over me where I could barely go back in that apartment. I was standing on the corner outside of the apartment complex, and I remember calling my mom, and I was just like, Mom, I'm done. Like, I am done. I can't, it's taking all the energy in me just to even go back up to the apartment. Like, I can't live another day like this. Because the whole point is that we weren't going anywhere. We had been together for practically 9 years, and marriage was only brought up a couple times, but it was never like, we never talked about where we would be if we were to get married or kids or anything like that. Like, we didn't have those kind of discussions. It was just basically him playing games, going to work, him and I having sex, and eating food, me cooking it, me going to a job. I wanted to go to school, but because we were moving all the time, I was so afraid to like try to go to school and then not be able to complete it. So my dreams got held on the line. And that's what I'm saying is, like, he is the one that didn't have any goals or ambitions. And he just didn't really care about the same stuff that I did. We didn't really have the same values or morals. We were totally unequally yoked. And because of that, like I said, there was not so much joy. There wasn't a lot of peace. There wasn't a lot of fun or excitement or enjoyment in that relationship. It was miserable because it was like, it wasn't that I was afraid to start over. It was just because this was my high school sweetheart, and at the time that was the only person I'd ever been with, like, you know, sexually and dated and all that. It was, my goal was, I didn't want to date anyone else. I just wanted to be with one person my entire life. And like I said, I was in denial. I didn't want to accept the fact that he didn't love me the same way that I loved him. And because of that, I continued to stick it out with him no matter how bad it got. And guys, that was 9 years, almost a decade of not really wasting my time, but just, it was going nowhere. You know, here I was praying to God over and over that he would change the situation, but really what he wanted to change was my life, me. He wanted me to say no to that man, even though so many people warned me. And that's all it ended up being, was us playing house. It wasn't going anywhere, you know? And that's where I say how to know when to leave a relationship, especially in that situation, is if you guys have been together for 2 years or more and there hasn't been any indication of, you know, talking about kids and marriage and future talk. Like, if you guys haven't been talking about that, that's probably because this man doesn't see a future with you. Ouch, I know, but it's like, I'm telling you, take it from someone who's been with someone for 9 years. Like, we probably had one picture together per year. So if we were together we only had like 8 or 9 pictures together in total. That was it. Because like I said, he just did not value me whatsoever. And I, back then, had no idea about my worth. I had no idea how to do a relationship, or basically how to handle a relationship, I guess. I was with him from 14 all the way up till 22, almost 23. And it just cost me a huge chunk of my life. Like, yes, I learned from it and I gained a lot of experience from it. I can help other people with it now. But back then, it was like I was so miserable. It was like same thing, different day. It was like there was just no excitement. It was just too predictable, and it was just not for me. And so if that's where you're at right now, I'm just going to tell you, like, get out of it. Get out of it. Like, just realize whether this is the first person you've dated or the only person you've dated, or even if this is just someone that you've dated for a very long time, but it hasn't gone anywhere. It doesn't take very long for a man, sweetheart, to decide if he wants to continue his life with you or not. Because you got to realize, a man, if you're living with a man and you're doing everything for him, why would he have to ask you to marry him? You've already given him the full package for free. Excuse me. For free. He doesn't have to work for it. He doesn't have to earn it. He doesn't have to put time and energy into it. It's just there. It's presented to him. Just there. He has no respect for it. He has no value for it. He's just used to it. So he thinks, well, you know, in his mind is, if you are not going to value yourself, why should he? If you're just going to give everything away, and even though it's not your fault that you may not realize this is why I'm doing this video, so you can realize it now, so that this way you don't have to worry about the next time you get into a relationship and things start to seem like it's not going anywhere. It's like, you know that, okay, because it's not going anywhere and it's been approximately 2 years, and if you bring up marriage or kids or anything like that and he keeps shrugging it off, or he just kind of says, yeah, or someday, or if when it comes to marriage, he might say, like, I had a friend tell me this, excuse me, I actually heard it myself, actually, from straight out of this guy's mouth to my friend. They were talking about marriage. We brought it up one day just to see what he'd say, and he said something about, oh, give it like 6 years and then we'll consider it. And I had to pull my friend over and pull her aside and tell her, no, he's buying time. He's stalling. It's pretty much what it is. He's trying to figure out how to get you quiet, to stop talking about marriage, so that you can stay comfortable being with him, waiting on him while he does whatever he wants in the relationship. And then when that 6-year mark comes, he'll find a whole nother reason why y'all can't get married right away. It'd be different if he were to say, hey, let's give it 6 years to save up for a marriage. If he wants to work his way, like, to build a very nice savings for that marriage. But if that's not what he was doing, which he wasn't, he was just bluffing in her face. So that's why I had to pull her aside and tell her. And like I said, it's easier for us to see it in someone else's, but to see it in your own life, it's really, really hard. You really have to involve God in every decision and everyday life that you have on this earth, because he's going to show you things that you might miss. He's going to show you things that normally you wouldn't probably pay any attention to. And the things that people have brought to your attention, if you're in denial or shrug them off, that's not going to help you either. So like I said, you can take my advice or leave it. You can do whatever you want with it. However, if you are taking it, thank you. Like I said, and also I hope that this has helped you. Like, I really do. I might take these and go individually down the line and make separate videos for each point that I did today, because this is actually pretty long. I'm not going to apologize for it because, like I said, I didn't know how I was going to do this video, but I had to get it out. However, I just want to make sure I give you guys as much advice as I can, and to be very thorough, and to make sure that if there's something you don't understand, or if something that needs to be in more depth, then I have no problem doing that. So that is my top 10 things on how to know when to leave a relationship. So just real quick, the first one is God didn't tell you to date this person. Number 2, you realize you're only using this person for personal gain, such as status, to have somebody, food, sex, babysitter, money, fame, position at work, etc. Number 3 is you're bored and just wanted someone around. Basically, you just didn't want to be like living life alone, or just even if you are fine being alone, it's just you just like the thought of having somebody in your life instead of trying to have a real relationship. You're just jumping for whoever. Number 4 is similar, but it's you're lonely and just want any person to be with you, meaning you don't care if this person's crazy or not. You don't care if this person is violent or not. Hey, as long as you got somebody, you're good, right? It's not good. Definitely got to work on that if that's where you are at. Number 5 is the person you are dating shows signs of abuse, aggression, or is controlling. Again, it doesn't matter whether it's day 1, week 1, month 1, year 1. It doesn't matter at any point in time when this man begins to display these signs and red flags to you. If you can recognize them, run. Like, just get out of that. Stay far away from that person. Block them, delete them, have nothing to do with them. Change your phone number, change your address if you got to. Do whatever it takes to stay safe, okay? Number 6, you don't feel comfortable with the person you are dating, or even not fully trusting them. And again, this is something that where it doesn't feel right, or it just feels off and you can't put your finger on it, but you know that this person is making you feel sick whenever you are around them. Like, you know that they're involved with something that is causing you to not trust them completely. And typically anyone else you're okay with, but when they are in your, I don't know how to say, in your presence, or if they are on the phone with you, or you're texting them, or even just the thought of them, it just really sets you into a panic frenzy mode, and that's not good. So again, stay away from those people as well. Number 7 is the person you are in a relationship with betrays you, whether that's cheating or lying to you, like chronicle lying, like it's just everything all the time. Or in worst case scenarios, because this is a thing, it actually is if a man were to sell you into, human trafficking, sex slave, or, pornography, or anything like that. Like if they were to trade you or sell you, or try to make you, I don't know, be your pimp or something like that. Like they're not exactly who you thought they were. Like that right there. Yeah, definitely not someone you should ever be involved with ever again. Once you break free, you stay free. You stay gone. Number 8 is the person you're dating isn't fully committing to you. So that, again, this is an off and on relationship where either they're not really sure of you, or they have no problem taking a break from you, because while they're taking a break, they may be seeing another woman, or they might just look at it like it's just a casual routine that you and this person do, where you guys just have your moments and then they go do whatever and then they come back, and that's not healthy. You can't stay in a relationship like that and expect it to be healthy. It's really going to take an act of God to help you with that. You cannot do that on your own. And also I would just say that that's probably a huge sign and red flag that God wants you to say goodbye and go find someone else. That's too much time that is wasted, or not wasted, but it's just too much time that's being used to deal with someone who isn't very certain about you. Number 9 is the person you are dating makes you feel like everything is your fault, makes fun of you, disrespects you, treats other people better than you. Again, that kind of goes back to the abuse. It's just a very early sign, and that person, they have a lot of growing up to do. They have a lot of healing to do. And that's where you need to be able to step away and allow God to work on that person. Excuse me. And if that person doesn't want to change or be healed, then hey, good riddance. You just dodged a bullet. Like, you don't need to be with a person like that who's just going to turn into your worst nightmare. Okay. And then number 10 is the person you are in a relationship with is playing house with you. And that's because they have no goals or ambitions. And, you know, maybe you guys have been together for at least 2 years or more, and it has been stagnant. It has not been going anywhere. The relationship hasn't been changing, hasn't been evolving, and it hasn't really progressed into a marriage. It hasn't progressed anything above a relationship. And maybe everything 1 through 10 has happened to you with this person. So it's like, this is just all around just crazy. This person's not for you, okay? Like, that's all I can say. I have not experienced that, but I can tell you there are other people who have. And if you got everything that I listed 1 through 10 going on with just one person that you're with, you need to wave that person goodbye, because this is 2022, and that person needs to be staying gone in 2021. Like, adios. Like, I ain't gonna see you no more. And that's pretty much it for today. Again, I might go breaking these down even more into individual videos. I haven't decided yet. If you want me to do that, please comment below and let me know. If I can get 10 people who really want me to do that, then I will do it. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. So, again, this was very long, but very, very well worth it. Hopefully you guys understood everything that I told you. Again, if you didn't, let me know in the comments what you didn't understand so that I can break it down further. So you guys have an amazing day, night, wherever you're at. Stay gorgeous and glorious, and remember to walk in your worth. Bye, guys.